It's the 4th of July 2021. Six hang glider pilots are launching from Waltz Point near Lone Pine in the Owens Valley of California. This is my third flight from Waltz. I'm hoping to fly the usual 100-mile task to Janie's ranch. Here's a map of the flight track. I attempted the same flight yesterday but got tired fighting turbulence and landed about halfway. The following footage is from my Insta360 camera mounted on a down tube. I am flying my Willswing D3 rotor harness and I am equipped with oxygen, water, radio and phone tracking. After launch, I don't find much lift at the saddle house thermal, so I fly over to the switchbacks and find a good climb after a bit of scratching. I'm already more relaxed and comfortable flying closer to terrain compared to yesterday. Owens Lake in front of launch has been mostly dry for the last century, since its water was diverted to Los Angeles. Leaving the first climb at 12,000 feet, I head north along the peaks and ridges of the Eastern Sierra. After about half hour, I arrive at Whitney Portal at 14,000 feet. The views of Mount Whitney, the tallest peak in the lower 48 states, are the first big reward of this flight. The landmarks in the valley here are the town of Lone Pine, where we are staying in the historic Dow Villa Motel, and the nearby Alabama Hills, which are popular among tourists for their peculiar rock formations. There's nothing comparable to flying over the Eastern Sierra's steep granite peaks rising 9,000 feet over the Owens Valley. The dry desert floor kicks up some of the world's strongest thermals in summer. The town of Independence along Highway 395 is comforting because it has some good landing options. "25 miles and an hour and a half into the flight, I arrive over Onion Valley, which is a popular hiking and camping destination. From 14,500 feet, it's easy to jump across the 2-mile canyon towards Kearsarge Peak. Conditions are exceptionally good today. The climbs are easy and smooth, and with the cumulus clouds forming above, it's easy to find the climbs. A few miles north is Baxter Pass by Mount Baxter, with a few glacial lakes behind the peak. These mountains are snow-covered in the winter, but there's almost no snow left now because of the summer heat and ongoing drought in the west. I am able to just leave my amazing glider in the thermal to get over 15,000 feet here, right above the lake. After flying by a few more striking Sierra peaks, I arrive at the first turn point, Split Mountain. The thermal coming from Mount Tinemaha below takes me up to 16,500 feet, a comfortable altitude to leave the Sierra and cross the valley over to the White Mountains on the eastern side. The valley crossing leg of the flight is 20 miles, and there's usually sink in the valley, so it's good to start high. There's a decent 10 to 15 mile per hour south wind today, so I'm getting a great glide flying fast. I'm still high at 13,000 feet over Big Pine, a major town in the valley and the halfway point of the flight. The last time I flew these 100 miles, I was only at 9,000 feet at Big Pine. It's nice to see some water in the Owens River below as it snakes its way south through the valley. I make a straight heading for Black Mountain, the start of the White Mountain Range. The radio observatory below, operated by Caltech, is sometimes used as a bailout for Black Mountain and is fondly referred to as Big Ears. I get a climb even before getting to the peak, right over Westgard Pass, but it soon turns to sink. Flying over to the peak, I'm able to find the expected good climb from 10,000 feet to 14,000 feet. I am about 3 hours and 60 miles into the flight here. The cloud street over the Whites means it will be easy going from here, but I will have to watch out for overdevelopment, cloud suck, and rain. The lift is getting stronger, almost like cloud suck, at 16,000 feet, but I'm still at a safe altitude. I'm passing Bishop to my west, the biggest town in the Owens Valley. The mountains are dry, and the Great Basin Desert to the east is even drier. Still, the views are breathtaking and absolutely worth the hard work. I identify with the iconic bristlecone pine forest below that has adapted to the barren soil and harsh conditions. Some of the trees here are over 4,000 years old. Another 10 miles later, I am passing Mount Barcroft at 13,000 feet. There's an old mine in the canyon below. As I approach the formidable namesake peak, I prepare to intercept some rough air. The many ridges that converge up to the peak all funnel into a strong crowd. I'm getting a bit low at 12,000 feet here, so I take a few turns in the strong but broken lift. The crop circles out front are just a farming ranch, not a large town. I've been flying about 4 hours and 85 miles now. Getting level with the White Mountain Peak at 14,500 feet gives an amazing perspective of the wild landscape. The White and Inyo Mountains are about 500 million years old, while the Sierra Nevada are much younger at 50 million years. So the Whites and Inyos are much more eroded and smooth compared to the steep and jagged Sierra. This is exemplified by the flat-topped Mount Dubois. Almost at the finish line, I get low again at 11,000 feet. It's probably enough, but not wanting to take chances, I work the lift here. I'm passing by the last California town of Benton on Highway 6. The climb gets me level with the twin peaks of Montgomery and Boundary. These peaks look different from the rest of the Whites due to the white soil. I now have an easy glide to Janie's ranch, so I head out, but the valley is very buoyant, just like the last time I was here. I have 4,000 feet to burn off before landing, but I cannot find sink. I could easily fly a couple more hours and many miles, but retrievals can get difficult in the Nevada desert to the north. Next time, I plan to fly back south towards Bishop, but for this time, I spiral down to lose altitude. It looks like there's a strong west wind at altitude, so I plan for a short approach perpendicular to the runway, aiming for the area clear of sagebrush. As I start my final approach, I notice that I'm flying much faster and there's almost no wind, so I will overshoot my spot. Obviously, this is not a great place to land. I almost pull it off, but then trip on a bush and have a soft whack. But everything's fine, and I'm happy with the great flight. arrived before I even finished packing up. Thanks for watching.